Hey guys, welcome to this video. I'm going to be talking about the AP Spanish Language and Culture exam and class a little bit in this video. I apologize ahead of time for the length. This is probably going to be a long video because I have quite a bit to talk about. So hopefully what I will cover are what you can expect on the AP exam, what you can expect maybe your teacher to do in class, and also maybe some things that you could do to help you to prepare for the exam. So let's get right to it. Here we go. All right, so I want to start by talking about the 6 themes that we'll be talking about. They are right here, and these themes are what your teacher should be teaching you and what you can expect to see on the AP exam. And so the themes are global challenges, science and technology, contemporary life, personal and public identities, family and communities, and lastly, beauty and aesthetics. So throughout a semester or the year when you're taking your AP Spanish class, you can expect your teacher will divide these up, hopefully, into equal portions, and you'll be able to talk about these and see how they're relevant to not only your culture, but also to Spanish-speaking cultures as well, and make a lot of comparisons and hopefully learn some new things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump down here to the AP Spanish Language and Culture exam format and kind of talk about it a little bit. It's kind of broken down into different sections here. We'll start off by looking at section 1, multiple choice. You'll notice that your overall entire score of 100%, half of it comes from this multiple choice section. So hopefully you're good at taking multiple choice tests. So the first part of this, which is worth 30 questions, and it looks like they split it up into, it's a third of that 50%. And these come from interpretive communication or print texts. And you'll have 40 minutes for these 30 questions. So what can you expect? Well, print text means you're going to be reading something. And what you're going to be reading will likely fall under one of these things. It could be a fragment from, say, an essay that some famous author wrote, or maybe an article that was published in a newspaper or magazine from a Spanish-speaking country, or it could be from the US, but from, say, a Spanish-speaking newspaper. It could be a graphic, like a chart with information on it talking about the use of, say, cell phones in Mexico. It could be some sort of an announcement, advertisement, or it could even be a letter. Right, so that kind of sums up part A, which is the first 30 questions there. Part B is split into 2 sections, so each of these is about a third of the 50% overall score of the test. So for the second part here, we have interpretive communication, print, and audio text combined. So it's kind of like taking this part up here, the print text, and combining it with an audio. So what you'll have is you're going to read something, and again, it could be an article or a chart or a table, and it's going to combine it with some sort of an audio, and the audio is going to be on the same topic or subject area as what it is you read. So it might be an interview of, say, a radio talk show host with some sort of a guest, and the guest is probably going to be someone that has some sort of expertise in a certain area, or it could be a conversation between 2 people. Again, the conversation could be real, or it could be a fake conversation just kind of made up about whatever it is the topic that you're talking about is. And then, or it could also be a news program, just someone presenting some information on whatever topic. And then you're going to have an X amount of questions, and some of them will be specifically about the print text, some of them will be specifically about the audio text, and then some of them will be kind of a combination of the 2 put together. And then let's jump down here to the third part, which is interpretive communication, audio text. So this part, you're just going to have an audio. So basically this middle one is like a combination of this one and this one. So the audio is just going to be, say, someone talking about the results of a survey. Again, it could be an interview presenting some sort of information. It could be an author talking about something that he or she wrote. We're not really sure what it will be yet, but again, you can expect that it will fall into one of these 6 themes. And then you'll have your multiple choice questions in that, and you have 55 minutes for these 2/3 of section 1. So let's jump down a little bit here to section 2, free response. So this is broken down into 4 sections. The first one is an interpersonal writing email reply. Hopefully this one won't be too challenging for you. I think it'll probably be one of the easier sections of the test. What's going to happen is you're going to read an email, and the email could be from a professor at a university, it could be from a businessman talking about whatever his business is, asking for some information or input, it could be from a friend. When you're doing these emails, you want to keep in mind your register. So do I want to use usted? Should I be using tú? And just think about what it is you want to say and who it is you're talking to, what's appropriate to say. So you're going to read an email, and then in the email that you read, the person's going to ask you some questions, or they're going to ask you for some feedback or input. And then when you respond to them in your email, you're going to want to be sure that you talk about whatever it is they asked you about. And while I say email, you're not going to be typing this, you'll just be handwriting this out. And you have 15 minutes to complete that task. Jumping down here, we have presentational writing, persuasive essay. So this one, you're going to be using some skills that hopefully you learn in your literature or English classes in high school. And you're going to be basically given 3 sources. Now it says 1 prompt, but the 1 prompt is basically an overarching question, but they're going to give you 3 sources, and with those 3 sources you're going to create some sort of a thesis and respond to that question or prompt. And the sources are going to be a written source like an article or a fragment or maybe an interview but written out. The second source will probably be some sort of a graphic like a chart or the results of a survey, something like that. And then the third source will be an audio. Again, it could be an interview or discussion, and they're all going to be on the same topic, and they're all going to fall under one of those 6 themes that I showed you at the beginning. So you're going to want to look at all those sources, come up with your idea, form a thesis, come up with a layout, supporting paragraphs, conclusion, and then you'll have a whole 55 minutes to complete that task. The next one is an interpersonal speaking or conversation, and it says 5 prompts. What that means is what's going to happen is you're going to, I can show you. I made this down here. So what you're going to have is a conversation. 2 is where you're going to talk each time, and then you'll have a name of somebody that's talking to you. So what it's going to do is before you start this, and you don't have a lot of time for this. I don't have the total time, but you don't have a lot of time to respond, and you don't have a lot of time to prepare either. Like 5 minutes, I think, is what it is. So you're going to get this sheet, and it's going to kind of show you the layout of the conversation. It's going to give you all of this. It's going to tell you kind of like an idea of what Jose is going to talk about, and it's also going to tell you what you need to do. So it's going to say like Jose or whoever the person is going to ask you a question about yada yada yada, and then what you're going to have to do is answer his question and ask for more details, and Jose is going to continue the conversation. He's going to ask you a question about, and then you're going to answer his question either negatively or affirmatively, and then you're going to ask him a question, and it's going to kind of go on like that. What you want to do when you're doing this conversation is do your best to fill that 20 seconds for each of your 5 responses, and be sure to touch on and answer all of his questions to the best of your ability. Kind of make it a real conversation and really fill that 20 seconds up. And the last one here seems like a daunting task, but so far my students have been doing fairly well at it. What's going to happen is you're going to have 1 prompt. It's just going to be like a question, and what you're going to do is you're going to take that question and you're going to make a comparison between your culture and then a Spanish-speaking culture, and it could be the question is going to fall under one of these 6 themes up here. So hopefully your teacher will cover those themes in as much depth as he or she can so that you feel prepared to respond. And basically this cultural comparison is like taking this presentational persuasive essay, but you're going to be putting it into an audio form. But you don't have this 55 minutes. You have much less time. You have a few minutes to kind of prepare your intro / like a thesis, and then think about maybe a paragraph or 2 of a supporting paragraphs, and then think of a conclusion. But 2 minutes, while it might seem long, it actually goes by pretty fast. So that's kind of what the test looks like. Being that this is the first year for the new test, it's kind of unclear as to how well these students will do. If you're thinking about taking this class, please remember that this test is designed for what's considered the standard student, and the standard student that's taking these classes in high school is a non-native Spanish speaker. So these tests are made and are graded by people that understand that you are not a native Spanish speaker, so they will expect that you make mistakes, but hopefully there won't be glaring, horrible mistakes all throughout. But if you make some mistakes, you can still get a really good score on it. If you do make a mistake during your test, especially during one of these audio ones, it's okay to fix that mistake really quick, and they will take note of that, and they will get you, bonus points type of a thing. Anytime you have the opportunity in this free response section to make cultural references relevant to what it is you're talking about, if you can talk about something very specific like a Mexican author or a film from Colombia or something that's really authentic, that's great. You want to do that as much as you can. So without making this video too long, that's it for this video. If you stuck around this long and you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.